Downtown San Francisco, Whole Foods. Who doesn't like a Whole Foods? Whole paycheck. You know, that whole drill. Yes, it's expensive, but they got some great stuff. They've got just kombucha for days, don't they? All right. Downtown San Francisco, Whole Foods slashes their store hours due to high theft and hostile people. Not in San Francisco. We got hostile people. High theft in San Francisco? Yes, we do. We've been talking about CVS. We've been talking about Walgreens. We've been talking about Target, all taking hits in San Francisco. Now Whole Foods is on the front end. This is typically what happens. They start to shut down the store hours, and then they will pick out the worst store within their chain in the worst area. Yeah, we've got to close that one up. It's not profitable at the moment, so we're going to temporarily close this store. But don't worry. You can go to our other stores here, and here. But this one in your neighborhood, not so much. All right, let's get into it. We're also going to check out some older stories in this episode because we need a little bit of perspective here. This isn't the first store to do this, is it? No, we've been covering this literally for years now. And this stuff has been just ongoing. And is it getting better? Is it just getting better? Downtown San Francisco Whole Foods Market slashed. Uh-oh. Am I going to get demonetized for using the word slash? Slashed its operating hours due to high theft and hostile people, according to one of the store's managers. Imagine putting in your report, why are you recommending to corporate? Why are you recommending cutting the store hours down? Yeah, I mean, the more hours we're open, the more goods we sell. Well, because in those hours that we're talking about, a lot of stuff walks out the front door, back door, side door, any door we have, people aren't paying for it. Plus, we've got these hostile people. Some call them customers. Some call them shoplifters. We call them hostile people. As of October 24th, the store located at 1185 Market Street is now opening an hour later and closing 2 hours earlier from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. I first became aware of this kind of phenomena in certain areas of town when I was appraising, and you'd go into an area of town. For me, it was in Seattle. And you're like, why is this mini mart closed so early? If I was out running around doing something, maybe I was out for a concert, who knows what. And you're like, why isn't that there's a lot of people milling about out. Oh, I see what's going on here. Huh. Yeah. Okay. I get it. Mini mart not open. Too dangerous. Too much theft. Not happening. So it's to better serve. Here's the pitch. Here's the pitch from the store manager. It's to better serve our customers, and it's more or less because of the area and security issues. That's pretty non-committal, isn't it? We had to change the store hours because of, just the area and just kind of how things are going. So this was stated by the store's manager, who asked to remain anonymous. Yeah, I'm going to make these statements, but please don't quote my name because, my job, I like my job. I like providing food for my kids, that whole thing, making the mortgage. There's just high theft and people being hostile. The store has a large security presence with at least 3 guards at any given time, but it apparently hasn't been enough to limit incidents of theft. Remember some of the video we saw during the beginning of the pandemic where people were literally just like putting bags, and we're still seeing it, putting just all kinds of stuff from like a Walgreens or a Target into like a big black garbage sack. And then one dude was literally riding his bike out the front door, and security guard kind of just, security guard's taking a video of it with his camera to document it. As the guy rides out, he kind of does like this half-hearted arm out. Now we know, don't touch him. Just let him walk out the front door, because that's essentially what the insurance companies want. And if you don't have insurance to run your company, then you're a hard no-go. So, corporate policy for most of these stores is, we're just going to let them walk out the door. So they've identified the hours early, the early one. Is that people waking up and trying to get their next fix? I don't know, that they're stealing stuff? Because they're not eating this stuff, are they? No, these people are pretty skinny. So they are going around selling this stuff. I've got so much security. We're spending more on security than any other store, I would imagine, the manager said. 3 security guards, and they still know that XYZ percentage of their inventory is walking out the door. All right, got to cut down the hours. So they are essentially doing whatever they can to stem the flow of bleeding, but it's not enough. Whole Foods spokesperson Alyssa Patterson said in a statement that the mid-market location adjusted its schedule to focus on serving our customers during the most in-demand hours and also be closed to the rampant shoplifting during the most in-demand hours for rampant shoplifting. That's the second sentence there that was not verbalized. I just did it for you. And you're welcome, Whole Foods. Yeah, I should be a corporate spokesperson, shouldn't I? All right, have that guy just tell the truth. And yeah, we're just going to close our eyes and put our fingers in our ears while he talks. And he's going to say some stuff that's going to make us cringe, but it's true. San Francisco Police Department did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Interesting. Maybe because they're out answering 911 calls? I don't know. Maybe they're going to Paul Pelosi's house. What a weird deal that is. And by weird, I mean weird, right? Weird. Yeah, cops come after he's been inside with that dude to pop for half an hour. What are they doing? What are they doing in there? And then when the cops come, Paul Pelosi opens up the door and doesn't really say much and then walks back to the dude with the hammer. They struggle. Dude with hammer hits him in the head, cracks his skull. What is going on with that story? NBC originally indicates there's 3 people in there. Now we're going to retract that. And then NBC last Friday, a week ago from today, had another release of information. And then all of a sudden, yep, it didn't meet our reporting standards. We're going to have to retract that one as well. Got to wait till the election comes and then we'll figure it out. Are we ever going to know the truth there? Doesn't feel like we will, do we? Does it? It's like, what is going on? How about there's no alarm that went off when they whacked that window? I mean, so many questions in there. But if you bring up those questions, you know, you're not a fan of democracy. Because, I mean, this whole thing was just so convoluted. You're like, what? Guy's a nudist, lives in a bus, in a house that has Black Lives Matter signs out in front. And then he goes down this QAnon and conspiracy thing. And what do we got going on there? I don't know. Elon Musk does a little tweet, and people just flip out because he went to the San Jose Mercury, and they ran a story that said, sounds like a couple of gay dudes to me after the bars close. And people got really upset because that's what the story was. It was just somebody saying, hey, this is what it sounds like to me. And then people are like, oh, that's not true. That's not true. That's misinformation. Yeah, maybe. But all Elon did was say, you know what? Maybe there's more to this story than we're actually being told. I believe that to be true. Retail theft in San Francisco has been an ongoing issue for years as other stores in the city are also grappling with a surge in stolen merchandise. I think everybody right now is grappling with a surge in stolen merchandise because we've basically made it legal for people to shoplift and they're not going to face any consequences. So, if you're in an environment like that, then that's what's going to happen. And there's so many mechanisms now for people to resell this stuff on the other end. We didn't used to have that, right? Because where would you sell your stolen, ice cream? It's one of those things that got put under lock and key in Capitol Hill. And I always laugh when I think about that. But if I lived over there, I'd be pissed. I want my Ben & Jerry's right now. Gosh darn it. I don't want to have to get some goofball 18-year-old kid to open up the ice cream. I just want to go in there and swing that door open, get that cool air coming out, and grab my Ben & Jerry's, grab my 1,200 calories and 75 grams of fat that make me feel so good and yet so bad, right? Another San Francisco store to close early amid out-of-control shoplifting. This is an older story, about a year old. And Safeway Another grocery store is shortening its hours in San Francisco amid reports of rampant shoplifting. Safeway is just one location among others, among dozens of other retailers that have been plagued by rising crime in the city. We covered this. So this is literally just more of the same. But now that you're seeing it at Whole Foods, that's an interesting one. I mean, why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't this happen? But it's interesting that it's taken this long, Whole Foods being owned by Amazon, it's taken this long to start looking at, we're really bleeding out here. Need to shorten up those hours. How long until I read the story where, that Whole Foods in San Francisco, they are going to be closing down. So the Safeway in the city's Castro neighborhood is the most recent store to shorten its hours, pivoting to close at 9 p.m. There you go. Location, which used to keep its doors open for 24 hours a day, now has the earliest closing hours of any Safeway in San Francisco. Yeah, you've just got these areas where it's known. You got rampant drug use. And what are you going to use to fuel that drug use? You got to come up with money somehow, right? You just steal. And if there's no repercussions to your stealing habits, why wouldn't you just keep on do that? Come to San Francisco. Everything is basically free. All right. Here's another article, and this one's also older, but this is the same thing. This is about a year and a half. Target, Walgreens make drastic changes due to increase in San Francisco thefts. I actually think that if you look back at some of my podcasts, I read this article because this sounds about right? I mean, doesn't it all kind of blend together after a while? And yet, this tells a story. It's like, okay, this store starts changing its hours. This store starts closing up. We had Code Epoxy, the outdoor retailer, closed down their new location after not very long because they were just getting robbed, multiple times within the first couple of weeks they were open. So it was like, all right, we want to sell in San Francisco, but financially, it's a hard no-go. We're not doing that. All right. So this article is talking about LA, San Francisco, and Sacramento being the top cities for shoplifting. All right. Yeah. It's California, and they have that proposition. What was it? 47 or 48? I can never remember that. It's the one where if you shoplift under, it used to be $450 was the threshold. Now it's $950. So if you were stealing stuff under $950, I believe it's just a misdemeanor and you pay a little fine. So why wouldn't you just go in and steal all this stuff and, book it out of there? So Target isn't the only store in San Francisco to make changes because of the continuous shoplifting. Granted, this is a year and a half ago. This is ongoing, and it's been well before that this stuff started ramping up. After 10 p.m., the 7-Eleven, my beloved 7-Eleven chain, on Drum Street in the financial district only does business through a metal door. But first, you have to ring the bell to let them know you're inside. Doesn't that, where are we? Are we at a fine jeweler? Are we at a fine jeweler environment? No, man. We're in the financial district in San Francisco. 7-Eleven. What? Why is the security so? Well, because so much stuff has literally walked out the door that this is the only way that they can stay in business is with a metal door. Here you go. You hand me the cash, and at the same time, I'm going to hand you your Slurpee and your bag of Doritos. Remember that? Slurpees? I used to like a good Slurpee during summer. Just don't have a lot of Slurpees anymore. What do they have? About 400 calories in them? They're just straight sugar. Oh, but they taste so delicious and they're so cold. Doritos, on the other hand, I still eat those. Those are delicious. The red ones, the fiery ones. Yeah, those are good. But 7-Eleven on Drum Street, that's how you have to buy stuff. And I've been in other stores where that's the deal. And it kind of makes you just not want to go in there, right? It's not your normal experience where you can just kind of mill around and look at stuff and consider what you might want to get. Not consider what you want to steal, but that's the ongoing issue here, isn't it? Yeah. So many people are just stealing stuff. And this isn't, I'm talking about grocery stores and mini marts here. This has expanded into just about any kind of store that sells stuff that there's a secondary market for. Home Depot just getting rocked. You're gonna probably hear about some national types of organizations that are going to throw out some stuff to try and crack down. You're going to have to come up with some solutions here, especially in the state of California, because this can't go on. You can't have all your stores pull out. You can't have all your stores closed down. But I know a lot of you are like, I don't know. Let's see how that one works. Let's see how San Francisco does without any Walgreens, without any, Safeways, without any CVS's, without any Home Depot, without any whatever it is. Let's just close them all down. See how that goes. That's a no-go, right? I mean, people need their stuff. Or do they? Do they just go to, all right, we got to go to Oakland to get our stuff now? Oakland can't be a cakewalk either. I think, the reporting of LA, San Francisco, and Sacramento, that's because those are the big cities that are experiencing the craziness in California. Any place where you've got heavy drug usage, Philadelphia, Seattle, Portland, LA, any of those places, you just see the impact that it's had on retail in general. It's just, wild stuff. People going in and just stealing stuff. And didn't used to be that way, did it? It didn't. You, as a kid, you were frightened into thinking you're probably going to go to jail and somebody's going to, have their way with you. That's what they told you. That's what they taught you. No, don't want to have the R word happen to me in jail. Go to jail for shoplifting. So therefore, I'm not going to steal the Snickers candy bar. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it because there's repercussions. Plus, my parents are going to be pissed if I get caught for shoplifting. Although I think both of my children were caught for shoplifting. Yeah. Those are different stories, though. Yeah. A case of beer and a dozen Manager's Special donuts, I believe. Possibly some chocolate beer in there. What else was in that couple of years time frame? Yeah. Had some of that stuff going. We taught them a parental lesson and the kids are on the straight and narrow. No longer stealing. Yeah, it's one of those things. But man, stealing for me? Yeah, probably not. Probably not so much. The repercussions were enough where you're like, yeah, okay, I'm probably going to stay away from that because, that whole thing that everybody tells you, all right, you don't want to go to jail. You know what happens there? No, what? It's not good. Not going to be able to sit down for a while. How come? Well, yeah, it's not a pleasant place. You don't want to go there. Let's just say you don't want to shoplift. All right. But apparently we're doing that in Whole Foods, right? Yeah, doing that in Whole Foods. Crazy times. It's wild stuff. But I strongly believe at some point in time, you're going to have some national coalitions that are like, okay, in order for us in your state to keep doing this, these are the changes we're going to have. Because you can't have these losses taking place at these stores. And then you can't have all these stores pulling out either. People need their stuff. So there's going to have to be some balance worked out. I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know what that's going to look like because it doesn't seem like we're going to have prosecution of criminals by any of these states and or cities. Doesn't seem like that's going the right direction either because shoplifting is kind of the least of the concerns of the craziness going on out there, right? So when's shoplifting going to get the spotlight? Probably not for a while. And these stores can't stay in business. They're not going to stay in business. Corporate's going to say, yeah, no, not only we're ratcheting those store hours down, because that's just literally a precursor to what's come next. We're going to shut the whole damn store down. I believe that's what's going to happen. All right. Stick with me. We'll see if my predictions come true. But this is a natural evolution of what should happen, will happen. Something's going to happen because what's going on right now. I mean, yeah, we're bleeding out millions per month, but we're just going to keep going because, that's a profitable business model, said no manager, CEO ever. Yeah, not happening, right? All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.